Welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Marcellus Wiley here.
You look good.
I look good.
You
Say
do.
it again.
We look good together.
We do. God, I had some jokes loaded. I see you in your winery, your Mandavi over there. You look good over there, but I think
since I'm not a wine drinker,
yeah.
I try to let the wine embody my outfit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're a little drunk off of that outfit right now. It ain't gonna win today. Let's get it started with Carson Wentz. And his Eagles have a big NFC East matchup against the Giants tonight on Fox. Philly is off to a slow start this season, you say, with only one win, and Wentz has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. You hear that, Acho? This has sparked some to call for rookie Jalen Hurts to replace him at quarterback. Despite the slow start, Wentz kept it positive Wednesday, saying, quote, "We know the division is up for grabs for everybody." So, Acho, is tonight Carson Wentz's last chance to prove himself?
It is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I haven't come around.
Yes,
what I have is come to reality. Let me remind you and the rest of America who I am.
Right.
I am the same man who said the Eagles' record is not 1-4-1. It is 1-1-3-1. I gave the Eagles a moral victory last week. I am the same man who has come to Carson Wentz's defense because the last two games they have lost. However, the offense has played outstanding compared to what the other offenses have done against similar opponents. Steelers and Ravens, best defense in the league. Eagles have put up 29 and 28 points, respectively. I am the man who has defended Carson Wentz when I have the ammunition and the ammo to do so. Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's talk.
If you all lose to the New York Giants, I'm out. I'm out of options.
Dude.
I'm not out of the team, obviously. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Because they paid you.
They did. They put some money in my pocket. But I'm out of options. I can't defend Carson Wentz if you lose to the Giants.
Yeah.
The same Giants team that lost to the Cowboys on a backup quarterback. The same Giants team that scored 3 touchdowns offensively in the first 3 weeks of the season. Collectively, not each individual game. I can't defend the Eagles if they lose to the Giants. So, Carson Wentz, this is Marcellus very much so his last real opportunity to prove himself because I'm going to be out of excuses. And I'm the king of making excuses. If there is an excuse.
I live with it. I live with it. 2 hours every day.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it for Wentz.
Right.
If you lose to the Giants, bro, there's no excuses.
Oh, man, you have come around to a place that I even won't go to. Look, it's election season right now. Debate tonight. Huge ratings expected for that. And huge ratings expected for our show right now because I'm going to start a new campaign because my first campaign didn't go so well. I wanted to bench him. And I wanted to bench him out of mercy. I wanted to bench him to help him protect his resume, protect his vision, give him a different perspective, and then reinsert him into the starting lineup with clarity, but they didn't listen to me. So here's my new campaign tonight on Debate Day. The 2-quarterback system is going to work in Philly. 1, because Doug Peterson has said it's going to work. But 2, in short sample, it has worked. You know how the Wildcat got started?
Miami Dolphins against the Patriots, 2000, Ronnie Brown.
You ain't had to think that deep. Just one play. They say, let's try this. Oh, it worked. Let's try it again. Oh, it worked. Let's give it a series. Oh, it worked. Let's give it more than a series. That's how it evolves. Same thing here. Jalen Hurts, 18 plays. You know what he's averaging per play? 10 yards per play. You don't know what to do with that. You don't know perspective. I give you perspective. What are the Eagles averaging per play? 4.9. Yucky, yucky. What was leading the league before last week? The Green Bay Packers, 6.8 yards per play. Wait a minute. You're trying to tell me we can have the most potent offensive potential if we learn how to play with Jalen Hurts under center? Actually, I'm saying just that. Now, why would I say that? It takes 2 things. 1, Jalen Hurts, you got to be ready for the moment. And 2, Carson Wentz, you got to kind of be wet in the bed under center. Let's go to a full screen right now and talk about Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, as Run DMC would say, not only bad against bad, but bad against good. Carson Wentz versus teams with winning records at the end of the season. Oh, my God. You can't beat these winning teams. Look about teams above 500 at the time of the game. You don't know what they're going to turn out to be, but you know what they are right then. You're still a losing quarterback. What about opponents that made the playoffs? They go on to have success. Losing record, 9-12. Non-division opponents, okay, you get out there, not so much familiarity. He actually looks a little better. Almost a 500 quarterback, but still drowning. Since 2008, including postseason, who is Carson Wentz? 15, 18, and 1. Here's the problem. How much money is Carson Wentz making this year? The third most in the NFL at 39 million.
I hear you.
I can't show you drowning numbers, but you're making that much money, and you don't have to share responsibility. It's time for Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts to share.
Let me tell you why. Let me disagree with you for a second.
You can't.
Jalen Hurts is a distraction. But Jalen Hurts is not the attraction.
Oh, really? You want to rhyme?
Jalen Hurts
is a whack reaction.
No, Jalen Hurts is a distraction, but Jalen Hurts is not the attraction. It can sound like a rhyme, it can sound like a bar, but it's reality. Take a look at it. Again, you'll see the last game. You talk about all these gaudy numbers. It's what Jalen Hurts didn't do that helped the Eagles' offense more than what Jalen Hurts did do. Look at the play, not me. Just look at it. It's the third quarter. Watch, Jalen Hurts is running a reverse. The Baltimore Ravens safety, Deshaun Elliott, sees him running the reverse. He steps out of position, which allows Miles Sanders to break free, and he could go all the way. I think he ultimately gets caught, if I remember correctly, but I got hit in the head a couple times.
He got fumbled.
Oh, fumble, and the Eagles ended up scoring, so he didn't get caught. Here's my point. Jalen Hurts makes for a great distraction. And that's what he did to help the Eagles do very well. He makes for an incredible distraction, but Jalen Hurts is not the main attraction. So I understand where you're going with all of this, but that's why Carson Wentz has to ball this game, because otherwise that main distraction could, in fact, become the main attraction. But as it stands right now, Marcel is way off if you think that's the case.
I ain't got no rhyme, but I got facts. Here we go. That same play, and I'll use a play before that because Jalen Hurts came into that same game for a reason, to give a spark. Even Doug Peterson gave it credit. He gave a spark. You know what they went in terms of series outcome before those plays? I give it to you. First 6 offensive drives, 3 and out. 3 and out. 3 and out. 3 and out.
Stop.
3 and out.
Make it stop.
1 lost fumble.
Stop.
And then 0 first downs and negative 12 yards. Insert Jalen Hurts. You know what happens the next play? He took a shotgun snap, faked the handoff, 20 yards. You know what happened after that? His second play was that play, a 74-yard touchdown. You can call him a attraction all you want. You can say he's just the condiments, but that's what makes this offense taste good. When you put Carson Wentz under center, let's see what he has in totality. What's his passer rating? 30th out of 32. What's his completion percentage? Dead last of all quarterbacks. What's his yards per attempt? 30th. Giveaways, most in the NFL. He's ranked 28th out of 32 quarterbacks, and he's making the third most amount of cash. There's no way you can justify this. He's not even his best ally. Remember we talked about what's the best offensive lineman we've ever met? A quarterback that's decisive, right? A quarterback that thinks, a quarterback that knows what to do with the football. Carson Wentz is on pace to get sacked 66 times this year. Most people that are lazy will say, well, look at his offensive line. But we played the game before. We know that quarterbacks that know their position, that are decisive with the football, go out there and get rid of the ball before that pass rush gets to them. I can't keep beating you up with these facts and these numbers. It's time to share the responsibility.
The one thing you said I'm going to take that and run with because I agree with. You said Jalen Hurts is a condiment. I agree. He is. Marcel is my favorite condiment, barbecue sauce. I can put barbecue sauce on anything, and it will enhance the taste. Like putting Jalen Hurts in the game enhanced the Eagles. But what I can't do is have barbecue sauce by itself. See, what I can't do is just substitute the whole hamburger and just get some barbecue sauce and just start sticking my fingers on barbecue sauce and looking at barbecue sauce. Now, growing up, I did know a guy who he ate a sandwich, a barbecue's mayonnaise sandwich. It was disgusting. I looked at it, I nearly vomited. You're that guy. You're the guy who wants, well, just give me all Jalen Hurts. Don't give me Jalen Hurts as a condiment. Don't give me Jalen Hurts as the addition. Just give me all Jalen Hurts. You're that guy. That's a pivotal flaw, pivotal error that you are making.
You just made the pitiful rationale that Carson Wentz is actually something of condiment or meat or potatoes. He's nothing of substance right now for this offense. Give it to you. I give it to you. The offensive line, which is in shambles, but you're getting Deshaun Jackson back. You got your running game, whatever you want to think about Sanders. Hey, you got enough. If you had some seasoning, if you had something to make it taste better, to give it a spark, you substitute Jalen Hurts in there for Carson Wentz, that is actually putting something on this bland-ass offense. Because when you put Carson Wentz under center, you are dead last in most categories.
Let me say this.
Let me.
I'm going to conclude my thoughts with a little bit of agreement. As much dissension as there is in our life, as much dissension as there is in this world, I like to agree with you when I can. Really, what I think about is this.
Okay.
This week, what happened with the Miami Dolphins? They pulled their starting quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was playing well, not amazing, but playing well, for Tua, a younger rookie who they drafted high. They pulled him during a bye week because it made the most sense. Give Tua time to prepare to go into the game. The Eagles have a bye week coming up. Not this week, obviously.
No.
Not next against the Cowboys. But after the Cowboys, they got a bye week coming up before they play the Giants. If Carson Wentz does not show up and show out this game.
Too late.
During that bye week, Howie Roseman, who I know well, will look and say, man, you know we drafted Hurts in the second round. Should we maybe make a move? Because coming off that bye week, we played the Giants again. Here's my other reason why I'll agree with you to a degree. If you can't beat the Giants, Carson Wentz, then who can you beat? If you can't beat the Giants, I can excuse you losing to the Steelers. They're undefeated. They're top-notch. I can excuse you losing to the Ravens. They're nearly undefeated with one loss to the Chiefs. I can't excuse you losing to the Giants, because if you can't beat the Giants, what's the worst that happens if we do insert Jalen Hurts? He can't beat the Giants either. So, yes, Carson Wentz, you're without Miles Sanders. Yes, you're without an offensive line. Yes, you're without Zach Ertz, but you should still be able to get it done.
Yeah, but y'all can't beat Washington with Carson Wentz.
Week one. I
don't give a damn this year.
The Buccaneers lost week one. The Buccaneers lost to the Saints week one.
First of all, you're over there eating them naked, bland hamburgers with thought you had barbecue sauce. Red water coming out of that thing. And now we're going to actually put something on there called Jalen Hurts. Doug Peterson already said it. You talk about the brass of the Eagles. They already said it. Why you draft Jalen Hurts? You know why you drafted Jalen Hurts? Because of that full screen. They know who Carson Wentz really is. They like, damn, how can we extract our money, get a return on investment? But we're stuck with this guy. Big dog, I won't lie to you. You're coming to my side because at first I may have went out too hard.
You did.
Bench Carson Wentz. He's making the third.
Went out way too hard.
Okay. Way too hard. But now it's played itself into a new reality.
Let me ask you this. Can I ask you this?
It has to be a dual quarterback
system. When Carson Wentz goes out and balls tonight, how will your opinion change?
You know what's funny about you? I don't know what balling means to you. I thought I knew you, but then you say Carson Wentz the last couple weeks been balling out of control. Carson Wentz the last 2 weeks, 52% completion percentage, 6 sacks. Oh, no. You said he balled out against Pittsburgh. Okay, 57% completion percentage and 5 sacks and 2 more. I can't make this up.
Carson Wentz gives you a 3-touchdown, no interception game. Eagles win by 10 or more. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you done with your Jalen Hurts nonsense?
No. If Carson Wentz goes out there and does what he's supposed to do and justifies the money he's making, he doesn't even get golf claps. He gets, where that been? You know, like.
So you that guy, Marcellus.
Well, no, Carson Wentz is that guy.
If you finally get what you want, what you've been asking for, how are you still? He's darned if he does, and he's darned if he doesn't.
You say damn on this show, though. Preacher's son came out. You can't say damn.
You know, I try not to curse.
God, see?
Okay, I'm working on myself.
All I gotta say is, it seems like we have agreement that Carson Wentz, his foot is to the fire tonight. If he doesn't get it done, you're coming to my plan. I want to debate. Coming up at the top of the hour, there's a lot of talk going on in Dallas, and none of it is positive. We'll tell you if Mike McCarthy could be out after one season. But first, in Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott's fumbles causing problems in the win column. We'll tell you if the Cowboys can rely on Zeke. Next, Speak for Yourself is presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott, who is on pace for the most fumbles in his career, including 2 on Monday night that led to 14 points for the Cardinals in that ugly loss the Cowboys took. Zeke even apologized to the team and went back to study all of his fumbles since high school. He put Monday's loss on his shoulders and promised to be better. Take a listen.
You know, I'm supposed to be a guy that this team, this offense can rely on and lean on when things get rough. And, you know, I just wasn't that last Monday night. And, you know, and I was sorry that I promised that I'm going to turn things around for this team.
So, big bro, can the Dallas Cowboys count on Zeke to get them back on track?
No, they can't. Wow. And it's sad because you shouldn't be able to say that about this level of talent in terms of who he is as a player, and certainly this level of investment, over $90 million that you have in Ezekiel Elliott. So here's the problem with Ezekiel Elliott. And it's a problem that everyone has when they find themselves facing adversity. It's not so much can you, but will you get the job done?
Okay.
So you going back to high school and looking at all your fumbles and seeing how they went wrong does nothing for me. I hate when people try to give me some story or some gloss and some nail polish to put on something when really I need you to just look in the mirror and frankly realize you are performing as a shell of yourself.
Okay.
I've been there before. I take shots because I took shots. I've been the guy who has fallen off before and looked in the mirror and like, I'm going to blame a lot of people. No, I'm not. I'm going to look at me. Damn it, where are you? And I think that's where Ezekiel Elliott is right now. Let's talk about who he used to be and who he is now. Back then, Ezekiel Elliott, full screen time. Back then, they didn't want me.
Hey, now he hot. They all on me.
Well, let's flip that for Ezekiel. Back then, they all wanted you. Look at the yards per attempt, rookie year to now. 5-1 to 4-1. Rushing yards per game. Goodness, what is going on? 108 to 68, and stop saying they're not feeding him because he gets the rock, y'all. 11 yards per reception down to 6.4. And this is when you know you're coming down the hill. You can hide behind some of these marginal stats and say yards per game, etc. You can't hide from the fact that you're losing your explosiveness. 60 was his longest run rookie year, 24 now. Longest catch, 83 down to 19. Ezekiel Elliott, man, he's not even himself. So before we even get deeper, for me, into his biggest issue, which is his fumbling issue, I just need to see Ezekiel come back. Whoever's wearing number 21 now is not the same guy that was wearing it a few years ago.
You make a great point. Can the Cowboys count on Zeke? Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. And they must. They can, they will, they must. They have no choice, Marcellus. It's almost like what you want the Cowboys to do, just lay down and take this butt whooping. That's not what they can do, and they won't do that. They have to fight. Their back is against the wall, and Zeke has to be the captain. Oh, captain, my captain. I look at it like this. Mike McCarthy did what he needed to do this last game. Go out there and feed Zeke. First 7 plays, they either went to Zeke or attempted to go to Zeke. 11 of the first 14, they went to Zeke or they attempted to go to Zeke in incomplete passes.
Yeah.
You did what you had to do. But just because the experiment didn't work does not mean the formula was wrong.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Like,
Justified.
just because the experiment didn't work does not mean the formula was wrong. The formula is go through Zeke. That is what it has to be. But let me also give it to you like this. What did Aaron Rodgers tell us 2 weeks ago? My down years are other people's best years. That's what Aaron Rodgers said. He said, my down years are other people's best years. Zeke's first 3, his rushing yards per game since he got into the league, 108, 98, 95, and last year, 84. 84 last year. Coming into the league was at 108. But last year, Zeke was still second in the NFL in yards from scrimmage. What's that say? That says that Zeke's down year is still second best in the entire NFL. 1,700 yards from scrimmage, 1,300 rushing yards. So I say this, Zeke still can be that dude, Marcellus. He just has to prove that he is. But he still got it in him.
He still got it in him?
Still got it in him.
From a DNA perspective, yeah, he still got it. Like, it's still the same cell construction, but is it firing the same? No. And I hate to do this to Ezekiel Elliott, but I keep receipts. And these receipts are telling me something that I don't want to even have to say, but I must do my job. I like how you said that they can and they must and they will. It's interesting. I've been in that position before when you're like, I have to pay something, a bill. I must get it done. I got to pay them bills. But the bills don't pay themselves. You know what happens? You have to do something to make it happen. You have to work for it. Ezekiel Elliott, we're acting like right now being hypercritical. Ezekiel Elliott is fumbling at an alarming rate this year. Oh, these receipts say different. Let's go to this full screen about Ezekiel Elliott who wants to eat, but unfortunately, he's dropping the spoon. These are the running backs with 600-plus touches since 2018. For y'all who are trying to act like this is a new story, you haven't been doing your homework or reading your history books. Ezekiel Elliott leads with touches. Okay, but damn, 14 fumbles And then 7 of them lost since 2018. Let's look at Christian McCaffrey. Oh, he's not losing the ball. Oh, let's look at Joe Mixon. Oh, he's getting the ball. Oh, he's not losing the ball. Only one other person is even comparable to Ezekiel Elliott, and it's Chris Carson. And we're not talking about Chris Carson and Ezekiel Elliott on the same level. Certainly not in investment, and certainly not in terms of responsibilities to this team. Ezekiel Elliott, you can't be top in the NFL in this category and near the mid-pack or bottom in other categories that they need him for.
Marcellus, I believe in laws. I don't necessarily, in some countries, not everybody abides by every law, but there are certain laws in which you must abide by. For example, the law of gravity.
Okay.
If you jump, you're gonna land, okay? You can try to defy it if you wish, but it exists. I also believe in the law of averages.
I like that.
And right now, Zeke's average is still 100 yards a game if you look at the first 6 years since he's come into play. I like to believe in the laws of averages. Well, let me talk to you about this. You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
I'm smart enough to know that ain't true.
No. Here's what you know. His first year, 108, 98, 95, 84, 68. His average still says he's going to get back to the 90s. Does it not?
Oh, no.
Do the math.
I mean, 108 is barely over 100, and on 3 of those, and one of them is 3,200.
It still says he's going to get back to the 90, but here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I like to believe in. I like to believe in the fact that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Okay.
So if Zeke has had all of these bad games, a 2-fumble game, what's that tell me? That the sun is on the horizon. It tells me this. If I'm a Cowboys fan, I got no other choice than to believe that. Think about the rushing defenses he's played. The 5th, the 7th, the 4th, the 8th. Those are the rushing defenses he's played. He's about to play 2 bottom 15 rush defenses.
Okay.
So he's played really tough opponents. What's that mean? He's going to play some really easy opponents because that is how the law of averages work. That's also how the laws of the NFL works.
Yeah.
He's had some tough opponents. Yeah. Easy opponents are coming the next 2 weeks. Yeah. He's going to ball.
You make that sound really simple. Like, oh, if you're falling off, you know what? One day you're going to be picked up.
That's how it works.
Or you just continue to fall off, and then we find your replacement, and that's how guys get released, and that's how they become analysts. Oh, that's how this works, too. The law of averages. Here's the thing about Ezekiel Elliott. I understand, big dog. Let me paint some positives for the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott, because I could continue to pour on, but I believe in his talent, so I think he has more in the tank than this. Cowboys 6-1 when he reaches 100+ rush yards. That formula works since last season. Let's talk about them being 22-8 when he gets 25+ touches. That formula works. The problem is, and I told you I talked to a household name in the division, and already, you know, the players, active players, they kind of whisper it before we can yell it. And they're like, yo, Zeke kind of lost a little off the fastball, big homie. And I was like, I see it, but I'm hoping I am not seeing what the reality is. But if Ezekiel Elliott, who comes out there and swears and promises that he won't fumble the ball, and literally 14 plays into that game on Monday night, fumbled it twice, I can't even trust Ezekiel Elliott. Right now, he is on a prove-it deal in my mind. I need to see the old Ezekiel Elliott now emerge. Until then, big dog, you're on your own with
Let me say this to give Cowboys fans some hope. Zeke's fumbled. He's lost 2 turnovers once in 62 games. There's a 1% chance, a 1.6% chance that Zeke is going to lose 2 turnovers again. It happened once, Marcellus, in his first 62 games. Let me also say this in conclusion.
What? Yeah, you better conclude.
Zeke faced the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 11th best rush defense this far. He's about to face the 9th worst and the 11th worst.
We bet.
Zeke is about to start balling, and the Cowboys better hope he does, because he all they got to depend on. Coming up, Antonio Brown could be on his way to Seattle, but I'll tell you why it would be a huge mistake for the Seahawks to sign him. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Look out, Zeke. Come on, Zeke. Tomorrow night on Fox is Game 3 of the World Series. Catch Mookie Betts and the Dodgers as they take on Brandon Lau and the Rays. It all starts at 7:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Walker Buehler gets the start for the Dodgers, taking on Charlie Morton, who is the only Rays player with a World Series ring. Acho, our prediction of LA in 5, still in play right now. All I need for you Dodgers is to go out there like you did in the NLCS. Win 3 straight. 3 straight, that's all I need. Go, Blue Crew. All right, let's move on to Antonio Brown. You ain't got nothing to say, huh? All right, who can be back in the NFL after Week 8 when the suspension is over and could wind up in Seattle? Adam Schefter reports the Seahawks are one of the few teams interested in the wide receiver. Russell Wilson has spoken highly of bringing AB to the Seahawks in the past, and the two even worked out together last offseason. Pete Carroll didn't close the door Wednesday, saying, quote, "We'll see what happens." So, Acho, would it be a mistake for the Seahawks to sign AB?
It would be a huge mistake.
Huge?
Huge mistake for the Seahawks to sign AB. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Somebody should sign AB. Let me make that abundantly clear.
Whoa.
But it should not be the Seahawks.
Whoa.
Marcellus, let me take you to, I was in Italy. I was overseas with a friend. That's what I'll call it.
Oh, you flossing belly over here.
I was overseas with a friend. And the chef recommended this beautiful entree. It's a beautiful entree at a 5-star restaurant.
You don't know the name
and all of us, I don't remember the island. I don't remember the name. Nor can I pronounce it. I'm not Italian, okay? I'll claim Nigerian, I'll claim American, but Italian is not my forte. And all of a sudden, though, the person at the restaurant wants to start tinkering with the meal. Can you add a little extra salt? Can you add some marinara sauce? Can you add We're at a 5-star restaurant. Ooh. Just eat the meal as it comes.
Ooh.
The Seattle Seahawks, y'all are a 5-star team. Y'all are currently sitting at, 5-0. Just continue as you are. There is no need to tinker with something that is already perfect. Chef recommends. Pete Carroll recommends. There is no need to tinker with something, Marcellus, that is already coming with rave reviews. If you add Antonio Brown, you are tinkering with something that is already 5-star. That does not need to happen. So I do not co-sign. I do not like in any way, shape, or form the decision for the Seahawks to add Antonio Brown. Let somebody else do it. Y'all don't need to.
Oh, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Please don't fix it, my brother.
I would love AB to come in there and fix the Seattle Seahawks because they are broken, actually. But you're not seeing that because all Acho cares about is, did we win the game? Yes. Good, I could go to that 5-star restaurant because if we don't win the game, then all of a sudden I can't go. Acho, dive into the details. This is the problem with so many fans and especially players in winning, that you don't look for ways to improve. That's why when we lose, you've been in there before, as soon as we lose, the whole world collapses on our head because now it's a time to teach. But even in winning, it's a time to teach and to learn what your issues are. What are the issues for the Seattle Seahawks? We know defensively their issues. They're last in terms of total scoring, and they're last in their pass defense. But AB doesn't play defense, so why am I talking about that?
I don't know.
Did I just see that they're 31st on 3rd down? What's 3rd down called in the NFL?
Money down, Marcellus.
Money down. And is AB a money receiver? Yes, he is. Let's talk about the production. Okay, let's not, because we already know he's going to produce. If AB is there and stable in mind, he's going to produce. Let's talk about the relationship and the structure. That's the issue here. He's friends with Russell Wilson. He's friends with Geno Smith. They stay in touch. That's not a lot to trust, but this is what to trust. Pete Carroll's there, who can wink at him and say, look, AB, I'm no saint either. I've coached some, and I've been in hot water before, and I know how this works. Let's work together under our structure. What is the structure? This is a winning culture. Even though they don't have a lot of Super Bowl wins, it's still a winning culture. That's why they can improve. You keep saying they're not broke, but where are the Super Bowl rings, plural? They don't have them. So this is a winning culture that can improve. In this structure, coaches that have equity, coaches that have won championships like Pete Carroll, they can bring an Antonio Brown in and say, look, if you don't play up to our standards and act according to our standards, bye-bye. That's why the rich get richer. Why did Le'Veon Bell go to the Kansas City Chiefs? Why were the Kansas City Chiefs interested in Le'Veon Bell? Because they know in a week or two, if he want to act a donkey, act a fool, bye. Same thing with AB. Same thing that happened to AB when he went to the Patriots. My point is, they have the structure, they have the relationships, and if you look deeper into the numbers other than wins, they actually have the need as well.
Marcellus, here's what's wrong with what you were saying is AB and Russell Wilson are friends. AB and Geno Smith are friends. Sure, that's fine. But remember this, you got a whole lot of friends who won't be your roommate. Going in college, it's like, man, yeah, that's my dog, but I can't live with him. Because you understand, if you get too close, there will be issues. Like, you're close with them to a fault. You close with them to a distance. AB and Russ work out together all off season. That's cool. Low pressure situation. You drop a ball in the off season, ain't nobody taking. Like, that's cool and all. I like these routes. But if you drop a ball in the season, game on the line, if you don't get past this game on the line, there are issues. But furthermore, again, Marcellus, AB don't play safety. He don't play cornerback. He don't play linebacker. And don't tell me that it's broke. Look at the Russell Wilson full screen I got. Fantasy ride, please. Russell Wilson is better than everybody else statistically right now. First in passing touchdowns, first in passer rating, tied for 5th in fewest interceptions by those who qualify, 169 passes or more. That's what Russell Wilson has thrown. Where is the error there, Marcellus? Russell Wilson is nearly flawless by football standards. Russell Wilson is nearly perfect by football standards. Why in God's name would you want to come in and even have an opportunity, even give Russell Wilson an opportunity to change the perfection that he's already existing?
Oh, I can tell you why. Because too much pressure is on Russell Wilson to carry this team because of their defensive issues. We've all said that. We can agree on that. Russ has to play at this level always, not consistently. There's a big difference. Always, or this defense will let him down. So you got a deadly duo right now with Metcalf and Lockett. Maybe even trio with David Moore. What if we added a fourth? Then that would take less pressure off of Russell Wilson, which should take less pressure off of this defense. That's all I'm saying. You look at this in totality. You just got to get more weapons because you're not going to fix that defense anytime soon. All right, we got to bring in our boy, Fox NFL analyst, Greg Muscle Jennings, busting out that shirt right now. Big dog, congrats on all your fitness success. I've been watching you on Instagram. Would it be a mistake for the Seahawks to sign AB?
Of course not. Of course not. Would you live life without an insurance policy?
Yeah, no. Acho, would you?
No, you don't want to. And when you look at this Seattle Seahawks team, I've heard everything you said, Acho, and I hear you. I don't agree. Because the best defense is a great offense. And I've been on some offenses that have had to play defense. And what I mean by that is play keep away, put a lot of points on the board to put even more pressure on the opposing offense because we know our defense is going to give it up. To Marcellus's point, and to a point that I want to make, when you look at the Seattle Seahawks, the areas where they struggle is third down. Yes, they're 31st in the league. And then in their running game, if you add another weapon like Antonio Brown, you open up an opportunity for your running game to then become established and take added pressure off of Russell Wilson. I'll say this last thing, and then I'll give it right back to you, Acho.
Please.
If Marcellus gave you some money and you went to the casino, if you bet, are you good if you win? If you don't bet, are you good if you don't? Exactly. You're good either way. So just like they have an established culture, if it works, great. We win big because we gambled. If it doesn't work, you know what? This wasn't really mine in the first place. Let me get rid of it and go back to what was already working.
Okay. I respect you, my dog, for talking my language. You feel me? I can talk casinos any day, but let me put you back in check real quick. You said AB was an insurance policy. AB is a luxury. He's not an insurance policy, and there's a vast difference. See, an insurance policy is a necessity, but a luxury is exactly that. The definition is in the word. It is a luxury. It is not needed in any way, shape, or form. It can be an additive, but it's not a necessary additive. It's the whipped cream. You can still eat the ice cream, but you don't need the whipped cream. Let me talk to my dog. Can you put us in a 2-box? I want to look my dog in the eyes. Greg, you know everybody has that relative, call him an uncle, that you don't necessarily want to bring around your kids.
Why?
You'll hang out with them one-on-one, but you don't want, because they might influence your kids negatively.
Oh, they curse a lot or something?
They might curse a lot. They might drink a lot. Greg nodding his head. Everybody got that uncle.
Benefield for me.
Everybody got that relative. Here's my thing, bruh. I don't want to bring him around my kid, DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is only on his second year in the league, right? DK Metcalf is on his second year. What did DK Metcalf do just 3 games ago? Running into the end zone, dropped the ball before he got into the end zone. Why? He showed a little bit of a flashy character flaw on the field. I don't want to bring my Uncle AB around DK Metcalf. I'll hang out with him by myself, Greg. I'll kick it with him in the club. I'll hang out with him in the offseason. But do I really want to bring him around DK, the same DK averaging 22.5 yards a reception, highest number we've seen since 2010, Deshaun Jackson? I don't want to bring AB around my young kid in DK.
Ooh, smack.
Okay, I hear you. Let me clap back, if you will, for a minute. Oblige me right here. So you say he's not an insurance policy. Well, what's an insurance policy to you may be not an insurance policy to someone else. But what's an insurance policy to me may very well not be an insurance policy to you. And as far as we're talking about family, let me tell you something my parents told me.
What they tell you?
You bet not act a fool. Because I had the parenting.
Simple.
I don't care what them kids over there doing. You better not act up.
For real.
Or I'm going to have something for you. So what do I mean by that? What are you saying, Greg? The culture is already established. When he was in New England, we was like, oh, man, this could work. Why? Because the culture was in place. When he was in Oakland, we didn't know. We were uncertain because they were trying to create a culture. And when you're trying to create a culture with someone who is unstable, it can go either way. And you haven't already established what the right way is. So when the wrong way happens, you don't know how to respond to it. In Seattle, they have that created culture. I'll put it in your terms. They have a mom and dad that have already been disciplining these kids, so they know how to act.
Damn,
I respect that. I respect my dog.
My mama said, I don't care what them kids want.
Hey,
you better not come up to me asking me for anything. I don't care. And look, let's just be real. Insurance policy, luxury, whatever you want to call it. This is a team right now that has a lot of good things going for it. But let's be real. There's some empty calories here as well because of the issue on defense. So the only way you're going to have a great defense this year, if you're a Seattle Seahawks, is to have a greater offense. And one way to get a greater offense is to bring AB in the fold. All right, it's time to make our picks for this week's free-to-play Super 6 contest. Terry Bradshaw's putting up $1 million, more than both of y'all talking about y'all little gambling talk, for grabs again this week, and all you have to do is correctly predict the outcome of 6 NFL games. All right, Seahawks against the Cardinals is one of the matchups this week. Acho, you're up first, you gambler. Give me a winner and how many?
Give me the Seattle Seahawks without AB, obviously. 30-23 over the Cardinals.
Greg, what you got?
Give me the Seattle Seahawks, and I got them 34-31.
Okay. I got Seattle 27, Arizona 28. Go, Cards! Go get these boys! Oh! All right, make sure you get your picks in before kickoff Sunday for your chance to be a millionaire. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. Coming up, the Mayfields, Baker and Emily. Like to clap back at critics. Okay, yesterday was Baker's turn. We'll tell you if that was a bad look or not. Next, speak for yourself.
If you got seasoning, you got to be able to cook. Come on, welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Baker Mayfield had a Sunday to forget. 2 interceptions and a blowout loss to the Steelers. Well, that brought out a lot of criticism on social media, which his wife, Emily, was not having, saying, quote, don't send me some stupid please. Yesterday was Baker's turn to call out the critics. Y'all take a listen.
I don't give a damn what they say. It's within this building. We know we can be better. I know I can be better, and that's how it's going to be handled. The outside noise doesn't matter. They get paid to talk. We get paid to do our work. So that's how it's going to be handled.
My dog, Greg Jennings, is back with us. Come back with the heat. But Marcellus, you up first. Is it a bad look that Baker clapped back at his critics? He was probably talking to you.
Oh, he was talking to me. What's up, homie? What'd it do? I remember Baker Mayfield from his rookie year. I like Baker Mayfield. I just don't like how he plays football at the quarterback position in the NFL consistently. I see some highs and I see more of the lows. Here's the thing. Let me hit you with a little of a Wileyism right now, Baker Mayfield. Proclaiming that you don't care reveals that you do. You know why it reveals what you do?
It's a bar.
Man, let me tell you, I've been there before. I don't care. I ain't listening to the outside noise. I don't care what they talking about. I actually care. But does it interrupt my process? Does it interfere with what I'm doing? And Baker, it's easy to believe you don't care when you go out there and just ball out. Then we're like, look, this is not piercing through. He's not internalizing the negative conversation about him. But when you don't ball out, then it seems like you actually do care, and then you strike back. Look, this has been Baker Mayfield's year. Remember in the beginning of the offseason, pandemic, all the Zoom meetings, and he was sitting there saying, actions speak louder than words, so I'm going to be quiet this whole offseason. Then about a month before the season, all of a sudden, Baker Mayfield, he couldn't hold himself. He couldn't contain himself. He started talking that trash again and started getting into that little macho world that he loves to live in. And now he wants to talk again. Why talk now? Why talk now? Coming off a performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers that they rated 3rd worst of all quarterbacks this year in terms of your QBR. Why talk now? Oh, go. Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns have the easiest schedule going forward. So once again, that front-runner mentality is back on display. Baker Mayfield is trying to let us know he doesn't care. And since we got it easy going forward, supposedly, I'm about to go out there and show you. Well, I'm not a believer right now. I need to see it, not only once, but consistently to make me get on the Baker Mayfield bandwagon.
Let me put Baker and everybody else in this world on game. You don't have to be likable if you're good. But if you're not good, you better be likable. I don't have a problem with Baker Mayfield clapping back because he answered the question. But I have a problem with Baker Mayfield not being wise enough to understand, hey, what are you doing? What's the perception, Baker Mayfield?
Yes.
You aren't likable right now. So if you're not going to be good, at least be likable. Let's talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He has 10 touchdowns. He has 7 interceptions. His team is 3-3. Baker Mayfield, your team is 4-2. You have 10 touchdowns. You have only 6 interceptions. But don't nobody like you and everybody crying tears over Fitzpatrick. It's not because Fitzpatrick is really all that much better and helping his team get that much more success, although in some percentage categories Fitzpatrick is, but he is likable. I have an issue with Baker Mayfield. You can't be sorry and a prick. Baker, in college, I was riding for you. You was grabbing your crotch before the Kansas game. I was like, hey, do your thing. You about to win a Heisman. You were planting a flag on the field against Ohio State. Do your thing. They can't tell you nothing. You're about to win a Heisman. But Baker, when you are the one person who is holding your team back, you are the one person holding your team down, causing the rest of the world to forget about Odell Beckham, forget about Jarvis Landry, you are the sole factor for that. If nothing else, at least be likable.
Deep.
For me, I definitely have an issue with him clapping back. And the reason is because whether they have won or whether in a loss, Baker Mayfield has just he's not been good, period. Like, likable or not, I don't care. All I care about is, can you produce? And on Sundays, that's all that matters. And he has not been able to do that. And I'll give you a little bit of a landscape of what I mean by that. He needs everything to be in alignment. What do I mean by that? I mean, he needs a team. Don't pressure Baker. Just line up and play head up so he can dissect what coverage you're in, and then he'll be able to perform. Wait a minute. Don't even play action. Don't show something that you're not going to really do, because if you don't do that, he doesn't really have what it takes to just do it in straight drop back. Why? If you pressure him, he's 22.6 in his overall passer rating, one of the lowest in the league. Like, he cannot perform, and he hasn't shown that he can perform under pressure. Why do I mention this? Because now you lose. You lose to 2 teams in your division, and you don't just lose by an easy, close margin. You lose by a landslide, and you're under pressure because you know this was your year. This is your year to show up these 2 particular teams in Pittsburgh and the Ravens, and you've come out on the end where you didn't do anything to help your team in trying to get them the win or a victory. So, Baker, if you're going to not say anything when you haven't played well, when you win, just be quiet, my man. Facts. Like, let your game speak. It's speaking a little too loud in the wrong direction right now. You need to get back on track and find a way to get your team some better production.
Yeah, he has to understand how this game goes. I love what you guys are saying right here. And let's preach to him, since we've been through the process, the highs and the lows as well. Like, the Cleveland Browns are winning in spite of Baker Mayfield, not because of Baker Mayfield. Think I'm just picking on Baker Mayfield? Nope, I'm not picking on him. I'm picking on his performances. Here we go. The last 20 games, he's under 500 as a win-loss quarterback. Under 60% in completion percentage. We know that's the Mendoza line. Like, if you even kind of good, you got to be 60% or better. He's not that. He has not passed for over 250 yards in back-to-back games in the last 20 games. Like, these are just numbers that we're talking about. This guy is a fringe starter.
Make you average. That makes you average.
Like, fringe starter, clipboard holder, backup, but former number 1 overall pick, and you have these statistics, these stats right here. Look at this. Game within the game, he needs to understand. And that's to Acho's point. Acho's been trying to highlight to you that, look, You can win the game. You can be the guy that they love or they love to hate. Floyd Mayweather or something like that. When you talk about Floyd Mayweather, where you going to come at him? He's like, just get in the ring and watch my perfection. And then no matter if you're likable or not, we got to accept it. But when you're not that guy, you got to play the game within the game. And Baker Mayfield, you're losing that one as well. So a guy with the 26th lowest passer rating, 29th lowest completion percentage, and 8th most giveaways should not be the guy up there popping his gums. Relax, big dog. Let your game speak for yourself.
And here's the other thing with Baker's comments. He says, y'all's job is to talk and my job is to go out there and play. If we're being real, we doing our job better than you doing yours. Because you talking about what we saying and you not playing. And so, again, really, for me, it is very, very, very simple. There has to be an inverse correlation between Baker Mayfield's pride and Baker Mayfield's production. The less he produces, the less prideful he can be. There can't be some sort of, well, I'm still going to be cocky. I'm still going to be the #1 overall pick, mindset of clapping back and all that. But you not winning no games. Because sooner or later, people are going to get tired of it. Baker Mayfield, your leash is very, very, very short. And it's only getting shorter the more you run your mouth.
And it's getting shorter because we see him with, as you alluded to, really well, all these seasonings. And I'll say this, and then I'll shut my mouth. The problem that I have with him with all these, let's call them seasonings, is even if you have these seasonings and you don't know how to use them, meaning if I grab a seasoning out of my pantry right now, it has 2 spouts. It has the one with the little sift where you pour lightly and you got to pepper it on. And then it has the other one where you just pour and it's coming out in bulk. Baker Mayfield right now don't know which end to use. At all. He got the seasonings, but he's using the wrong end. I need you to understand that I have to look in the mirror. Once you become perfectionist at self-assessing, then you can really have some growth. He has not done that because he's looking and listening to everything that we're saying instead of looking at himself and trying to fix his problem.
Man, it's real. I feel like we pouring it on, piling it on. And we are, because we're doing our jobs. Damn it, throw for 500 yards and shut us all up. And trust me, we will report that as well. Only quarterback with a worse passer rating in the last 20 games, you know who that is. Andy Dalton. How did that look? How did that look when we saw Andy Dalton out there? Completion percentage.
Why you drag Andy into
I'm just saying.
This was such a great segment. Pouring it on the band. And here you go. No, Andy, come get these lashes,
We are all in the moment of how bad Andy Dalton looked. And then we want Baker Mayfield to understand some perspective in terms of completion percentage. That said, when you have an offensive line like he has that was retooled in terms of draft, in terms of free agency, and Bill Callahan, when you have Pro Bowlers in the receiving corps, Pro Bowlers in the running game, and you have beasts on defense, Baker Mayfield, the excuses run dry, and all of a sudden, it all lands on your lap. Coming up in our big story, Mike McCarthy's coaching staff is being called out by his own players. We'll tell you if he could be one and done in Dallas. Next, speak for yourself. You're watching Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. I'm Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho over here. Let me say it again. Statistics.
Yeah, you couldn't get it out last time.
Oh, really? Asterisk?
Read.
Asterisk? Asterisk? How you want to go there? All right, let's head to Dallas for our big story about these stats. All right, things aren't going as planned for Mike McCarthy in his first season in Dallas. NFL Network's James Slater reported earlier this week that some anonymous players called out the coaching staff. McCarthy responded saying, quote, "It's important to handle these things as men." Ezekiel Elliott said, quote, "We need to keep that kind of stuff in-house." Greg is back with us, but Acho, could Mike McCarthy be one and done with the Cowboys?
He absolutely could be. And if he don't get this thing right, he absolutely should be. Greg, fix your face, okay? I saw that reaction. Fix your face, Greg Jennings. Fix your face. I'm going to give y'all something that will blow your mind because it blew mine. 2 or 3 years ago, someone told me the top 25 coaches in college, all the coaches that had top 25 programs, when they got to that college, every program they coached, it got better. The program that they coached got better. So I said, I wonder if there's a correlation in the NFL. 12 teams made the playoffs last year. Every head coach from the team that made the playoffs, his first year, that team got better. The only one coach whose team didn't get better in his first year, Bill Belichick, who clearly needed time to create a new culture and needed Tom Brady. What am I saying? Great coaches are great coaches from day one in recent NFL history. Great coaches are great coaches when they get there. Look at what Matt Rule has done and is doing in Carolina. They look pretty good. Look at what Joe Judge is doing in New York with the Giants, which I said before the season, they look pretty bad. Great coaches are great coaches from the day they step foot on the lot of the facility of the team in which they coach. When I look at Mike McCarthy, is he a great coach? 2 wins over 2 1-5 football teams, one of which being the Falcons, you had to come from behind and pray for an onside kick, one of which being the Giants, which Andy Dalton had to kind of bail you out after Dak Prescott got hurt for you running a quarterback keeper. Is that really a sign of a great coach? Mike McCarthy could be one and done if he doesn't fix this. Mike McCarthy should be one and done if he doesn't fix this. And let me put a bow on this again. Great coaches in the NFL, they don't need a whole bunch of time to make a positive trajectory of improvement. They don't need a whole bunch of time. Sean Payton shows up. The Saints win 7 more games. Kyle Shanahan shows up. The Niners win 4 more games. Pete Carroll shows up. The Seahawks win 2 more games than the previous year. Great coaches are great coaches when they get there, and Mike McCarthy has shown us already very early on he might not be the coach you thought he was.
Wow. Woo, that was just pure blasphemy right there.
Coach. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you better call me Coach Denver. All right, here we go. First of all, I'm about to start teaching up here. Don't you ever disrespect
What I do?
Greg Jennings like that and tell him to fix.
I seen his face.
Fix his face.
Seen his face.
All right.
I appreciate that.
All right. The one who is a Super Bowl champion on this 3-shot right here.
Biased.
Please speak up.
That be me.
That be me. Hey, Greg, who'd you win a Super Bowl with?
Oh, my God.
Speak up.
Oh, my God.
I believe that was Mike McCarthy.
My God.
I just wanted to get that out the way. You know, the little prelude.
You won it with Aaron Rodgers, okay? You won it with your Michael Finley. You won it with Donald Driver, okay? You didn't win it with Mike McCarthy.
Aaron Rodgers is not on the topic bar right now. It says Mike McCarthy, the head coach of the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. Oh, my man Acho doesn't respect Mike McCarthy because all roads lead to Mike McCarthy being the best option for these Dallas Cowboys. No, he won't be one and done unless he wants to quit. They're not running him out of town because they know what they got in Mike McCarthy. Now, who is Mike McCarthy? Since Acho want to come up here and talk about day one, if you're a great coach, you got to go out there and show it from day one. Oh, Mike McCarthy, day one, Green Bay Packers. Where were they? 4-12.
2004? You going back 2004?
Hey, hold on. I got you twice. Day one, were they a good team? No, they were 4-12. He took them to what? 8-8. So there's your improvement, Acho. But then the next year, where did he take them? 13-3 NFC Championship game. So check. But Acho thinks that's too old because he's so young. So, all right, let's give it to him now. He's a Dallas Cowboys head coach. This season is an unknown. This season is not finished. But what place are they in this sorry division? First place. So technically, your first place team, you can win your division and find yourself in the playoffs. All goals can still be accomplished. But I can't condemn them right now because I don't know how this is going to finish. But I do know last year how it finished, and the Dallas Cowboys were not in first place in their division. You got to respect who this guy is. I don't understand why you don't look at his entire body of work and respect it. 12 full seasons as the head coach in Green Bay. 10 winning seasons and only 2 losing seasons. And when I say losing, I mean 7 wins, barely losing, and 6 wins, barely losing. Mike McCarthy's the man for the job. He's not one and done unless he says enough of this blasphemy from analysts.
Enough of you talking. Enough of you talking, okay. Marcellus.
Enough of that.
Yeah, man, I'm with Marcellus again. Mike McCarthy's not one and done. And the answer of why is very simple. Who hired Mike McCarthy?
Jerry Jones.
Oh, that guy be Jerry Jones. And so he always has the biggest ego in the room. And when he makes a decision, he wants to give it time to be right. And that's exactly what he's going to afford Mike McCarthy, the time to get it right, to fix it. Now, what I will say is this. Mike McCarthy, when he did get to Green Bay, we did get better. that first year. However, defensively, we struggled, had a ton of talent, a ton of talent. Does the Cowboys have a ton of talent? They do, but he had it wrong with Bob Sanders running that defensive unit. He found Don Capers. It switched things over. We became a Super Bowl winning team. Once he allows himself to get off this loyal train, which he is, very loyal individual, and let Mike Nolan go right off in the sunset and find someone who's going to right the ship defensively, because offensively they're rolling. They can be better. They obviously lost their number one guy, their alpha male in the locker room, and Dak Prescott, but they can still do some special things. I like McCarthy. He has proven with his track record, his resume, and from my knowledge, when you get hired, the most important thing is your resume, and his resume is pretty stacked. And Acho, when you won a championship, when you won a ring for arguably the greatest franchise in the history of the sport, you better put some respect on his name.
Yeah. Greg, that's a champion talking. Acho.
Can you put, Greg, you need to put something on. Your bias is showing. Can you cover up your bias is showing? Greg Jennings, let me talk to you, big bro, because you were there. Stop giving Mike McCarthy credit for things that Aaron Rodgers accomplished. Stop giving Mike McCarthy credit for things that Greg Jennings accomplished. Greg Jennings has 76 catches, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns in the Packers Super Bowl championship year. What did Mike McCarthy do? Here's what you don't understand, Greg. Mike McCarthy held y'all back. I said it because you can't. Mike McCarthy actually held you and y'all back. Mike McCarthy without Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, he is a 35% winner as a head coach. Mike McCarthy with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, a 65% winner as a head coach. Mike McCarthy without Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, heck, throw Greg Jennings in the mix. Mike McCarthy, though, without Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, only 19 coaches have been as bad as that, 35%. Greg, I understand you won a Super Bowl. Kudos to you. You did something that rarely anybody in this world has ever done. Please understand, you would have won more if not for Mike McCarthy. Please understand, he actually limited your career. He owes you money, Greg Jennings. Okay, I can be your lawyer if I need to. I'm a little bit busy. I'm writing a book right now. I'm also currently hosting this show. But if you need me to, I can be your lawyer because Mike McCarthy stole from you. You just don't realize it yet.
You know what? I've always been pretty good at speaking my mind, rub people the wrong way, ask those fans in Green Bay. I mean, I don't have any bias in me. I just have all real, all up and through this vein. So that's what I pump with. So check this out. With Mike McCarthy, he did not hold us back up until our Super Bowl winning years. When I even began to speak out against Mike McCarthy is after the success came. Because what happens after you have had success, you try to be the front and the reason why the success was had.
Fair.
And I believe that that was what was happening. Aaron Rodgers' name was getting publicized more. He was the face. It was all about what he was doing in this fantastic offense that we had. And Mike McCarthy's voice was quietly fading to the back. No one likes to feel that way. So, yes, when we got past that Super Bowl hump and we won it, those years following, did we look redundant? Did we have the same things going on that teams started to look at and take away? Yes, I believe that that's when Mike McCarthy showed his colors of holding us back. Up until then, though, my brother, you can't tell someone who's experienced success how they earned the success and how it came to be. And I'm that guy that has the success over here. So how it came to be was by everybody doing their part and doing their part to the perfection necessary.
Damn, that was like a virtual butt whooping with no belt. But you just tapped them real quick, say, hey, my bias is showing. Don't forget, I left the Packers. I left Aaron Rodgers. Got into a little issue with him, too, and played for the rivals in Minnesota. So if I got bias, what the hell are you talking about? Do you know the definition of that word? You know what's not showing right here, Acho? Your Super Bowl ring. My Super Bowl ring. Only that guy in the middle is talking about Super Bowl championships. Yeah. So that guy is the guy we have to defer to. One thing I don't like is what Acho loves to do.
What I do?
Which is he likes to take away someone's success or splice it up and say things like, well, without Aaron Rodgers or without Brett Favre, who would he be? Well, who would Bill Belichick Belichick be without Tom Brady? Oh, we kind of know. Cleveland Browns, Belichick, which was it? Here's the thing. Mike McCarthy has been through something no one else has experienced, maybe ever, but certainly this year. He's lost his quarterback one in Dak Prescott. And he has the NFL's worst defense by points allowed in NFL history. You talk about getting hit from both sides. Whose fault is that? I'm not saying it's his fault, but I'm also saying he's not one and done because those circumstances won't repeat themselves, and he's still in first place. If he's such a bad coach with those two variables occurring, how come they still in first place? I ask. Nacho, anybody?
The Cowboys have the worst defense in the NFL. On pace for the worst defense in history.
Yeah.
Why? Not because of you, Marcellus. Not because of Super Bowl champion Greg Jennings. Not because of me, Emmanuel Acho. Because Mike McCarthy, the head coach, hired the defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan hired Mike McCarthy in 2005 to be the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. Mike McCarthy made a hire based upon favorites. That is Mike McCarthy's fault. The reason the Cowboys have the worst defense, I got to talk like this, because sometimes you don't hear me.
You big bad.
The reason the Cowboys have the worst defense is because Mike McCarthy put the worst defensive coordinator in play. The reason the Cowboys have the worst defense is because of who Mike McCarthy chose to call that defense. That's not on me. That's not on you. That has nothing to do with Mike McCarthy's Super Bowl ring from 10 years ago. That has nothing to do with that. What that has to do with is, what that has to, please, get your ring. Get your ring, okay? It got dust on it, so make sure you wipe it off because it's probably a little bit old, like Mike McCarthy and his coaching ability. It's a little bit old. It's a little bit tainted, I will say. But let me say this point because y'all are a little bit confused.
Hey, let me give you some of this.
Go ahead, because I got some ammo.
What is that thing he hugging on? Ooh, she pretty. Look at that girl. Oh, my.
Oh, we still here?
Oh, she's pretty.
I'm tripping.
Oh, she's pretty.
I was just going to see something that Mike McCarthy got for me.
He didn't for you. He didn't get it for you.
And all we got is some iPhones up here. Like, look. Oh, you just got sunned, Acho. Me too. We just got sunned, big dog.
Nobody here got Marcel.
You've only seen us do this.
Kiss her. Give her a kiss. Oh my God!
I don't need to say anything else. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to sit here and listen.
So Mike McCarthy is allowed to be sorry because he got a Super Bowl. Is that the expectation?
Sorry?
So Marcellus, you have one great year of shows, and we're just allowed to give you a pass for sucking the rest of the time. Can you get Greg Jennings off my camera? I'm not looking at this man no more. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Hey, but when I'm talking, put the champ back up because we're just we're contenders right now. They're going to champ right there. Here's the thing. He's not even done his first season that Acho wants to indict and condemn him for. We don't know how this is going to play out. Expectations have been lowered, certainly, because no Dak Prescott, certainly because of this defense, but his record speaks for itself. And you keep talking about Mike Nolan like Mike Nolan ain't got a resume his damn self. 5 different organizations, top 10 defense. Give it some time.
I have a resume, and I was sorry, okay? One of my years in the league, I was a top linebacker, and I ain't all that good. I was a top. I could have started in any league. My Pro Football Focus, I could have started on any team.
Special teams.
No, I'm talking about linebacker, and I wasn't all that good. Stop talking to me about a one-and-done, great
Being
season.
good and being great are one thing.
You said Mike Nolan.
How about being a champion? That's the greatest of the greats.
Yes,
and that's what they are. You can't take that away.
Where's the phrase riding coattails come from? Because some people ride coattails onto championships. He rode Aaron Rodgers' coattail to a championship. But I digress. Let me call
so Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl without him?
He will. He will. Because the other issue at hand is very simple, and Greg Jennings brought it up about 5 minutes ago. Mike McCarthy is going to have 2 options. I didn't say he will get fired. I said if he stays on this trajectory, he could and he should. He has 2 options. He's either going to have to make a scapegoat out of defensive coordinator Mike Nolan, the same guy who
How's that a scapegoat? It's the worst defense ever.
Because it's Mike McCarthy's fault, but he's either going to have to do this, Marcellus. He's going to have to fire the same man who gave him a job when he was on the street.
And
good luck doing that, because he picked you up when you was down. So now you're going to kick him out. But here's the other thing. Jerry Jones has also shown us he can hire competent head coaches. Since '93, since Jimmy Johnson retired, Marcellus, Jerry Jones hasn't had a head coach who's left him and gone on to be successful. Only Chan Gailey has left and gone on to be a permanent head coach. So what that tells me is this. The guys who Jerry Jones hired aren't even qualified. So why are you surprised? Jerry Jones hired Mike McCarthy off a sleepover.
Once again, you are guilty of omission. Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl after '93 and didn't go anywhere. He just retired and said, give me my championship. Is he a part of your conversation? Did you put his name in there? That's my point. You like to cook books. He likes to cook books. Don't get away with me. Here's the one thing I have to say before I let the champion close out. I need Acho to understand that we all, as a collective, as a team, shoot to win a championship. And the reason we shoot for it is because once we make that shot, if you make that shot, no one ever could take that ball out the rim, out the net. And that's what Greg is hugging right now, something that we never were able to do, Acho. But for now, us to go back with revisionist history and try to take that away or to puncture that same trophy, to me, is senseless.
The trophy. Marcellus.
Champion, you have anything else to say to this contender? To this
I do. Really quick and really brief.
I can't hear you. Your chin is hitting whatever that is. Your chin is hitting the freaking.
Let me move this out the way. So anytime a team is on an opportunity or has an opportunity to win a championship, there's something that comes with that. And teams talk about it all the time. Well, at least we did. I don't think you guys ever experienced that. So they say, man, if we just win, everything else will fall in place. What that means is opportunity will come to you. And so when you've won a championship, it trumps everything that has happened on your resume. And so why am I mentioning this, Acho? Because Mike McCarthy, his resume has a championship ring on it. It has a championship Lombardi trophy on there. And with that, he has the right to make it right because he has found out how to get one of these. And there are so many coaches that coach this game that haven't figured out how to make the pieces that they have on the roster come together, unite for one of these. He's been one of those coaches. You give him a chance.
Greg Jennings, I have three things to say.
That was beautiful.
Number one, your Lombardi trophy is dusty. Number two, make space in between those two jerseys for a Mike McCarthy picture, please. And number three, once upon a time, Greg Jennings, Emmanuel Acho got an A in a calculus class. Once upon a time, I got an A in a calculus class. That does not forever mean I will be phenomenal at calculus, because if I were to take it right now, I would fail.
That is not
Once upon a time, Mike McCarthy, he got an A as an NFL head coach. Once upon a time, he got an A in winning Super Bowls. But right now, Mike McCarthy is getting a failing grade.
Here's my
Coming
ring.
up,
There's my ring.
Brett Favre isn't a fan of the Chiefs signing Le'Veon Bell.
You a hater.
We'll tell you if it's a good move. That's next. Speak for yourself. Presented by Hyundai. Welcome back. Time now for Rewarding Performance, sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, the Chiefs were rewarded with a 3-time Pro Bowler when they signed Le'Veon Bell last week. Bell recently was released by the Jets, but says coming to KC is, quote, a good fit for my skill set. The Chiefs seemed just fine Monday night, rushing for over 200 yards, led by rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is a reason why Hall of Famer Brett Favre thinks the addition of Bell wasn't necessary. Y'all take a listen.
Well, they don't need him. I don't know Le'Veon personally. I don't know what kind of guy he is. I do know what kind of player he has been. An incredible player. But they don't need him. They got a good thing going. And sometimes adding a player of Le'Veon's caliber can do more harm than good. I'm not saying it will. But, think about it this way. What can they do with Le'Veon that they're not doing already, other than feeling the need to give him the ball to please him, which is really all that you're putting him in for.
So, Marcellus, do you agree with Brett Favre on the Chiefs signing Le'Veon?
No, I don't agree with the great Brett Favre.
But he has a Super Bowl ring, Marcellus.
Yeah.
So he can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Look, Super Bowl, you should listen to him because that's Super Bowl.
If that microphone was a football, I would trust him with it. I do not trust him as an analyst. Hell no. I've been listening to Brett Favre since he retired for a minute. He ain't watching no football like I'm watching football. Let's just say that. Not as astute as I would expect. But it's a different world. So look, playing football, playing quarterback to his level, and doing what we do, hey, I'm not expecting too much. But it shows that fame is a drug because Brett Favre says this and people believe it. And they're only believing it because he's Brett Favre and he's famous. But if you really look into it, Brett Favre has not even studied his own resume, has not even studied his own history. You ever heard of a guy named Andre Bad Moon Rising? You ever heard of Andre Rising? He used to get on the goalpost and stick on them things. Oh, he used to get us a couple of times. He got us. Oh, did Andre Bad Moon Rising play with Brett Favre before? Yes, he did, actually. He played with Brett Favre and went on to score the first touchdown of Brett Favre's only Super Bowl championship. Oh, and I wonder if Andre Rising came in as a malcontent, had a reputation, also with a resume of production. Yes, yes, yes. So the point is, it worked for you. How come it can't work for the Kansas City Chiefs? Oh, you want to say they have an abundance of riches, and why do they need them? They don't really have an abundance of riches in the running game like you think. Let's talk about the rookie. Let's talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who had a great first game and had a great last game. But people stopped watching in between, and he had 4 games where he went out there and averaged 51 rushing yards and 0 touchdowns. You know who has more rushing touchdowns on the Kansas City Chiefs than Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, known for one of the greatest, if not greatest, arms ever, has more rushing touchdowns than his rookie, because he's a rookie. You remember your rookie year? I do, too. You don't have your man bones. You are going against grown-ass men with no man bones. These dudes are changing diapers, getting yelled at by the wife, and coming in there with fully grown beards and 30 years old, ready to tap you until you get conditioned to the league and its rigors. So this is not a move based on luxury or want. It's actually a move based on need.
I actually agree with Brett Favre, and he says that the signing could do more harm than good.
Sway?
Because to me, Marcellus, the operative word is just very simply could. That's the only reason I agree with him. Like, it could do more harm than good. I'm not ODing and saying it will. I'm going to say that it could. I talk to y'all. Y'all know me by now. Y'all know I love these cards. Game of blackjack. The objective is to get 21. Marcellus, if I get 2 10s and I'm sitting at 20.
Split them!
No.
Oh, don't do that.
Because if I'm sitting at 20, bro, my hand is about as good as it can get.
Almost.
It can be beat, but it's about as good as it can get. I got 20. The only thing that they showing 6. So exactly, I won. Yeah. So the only thing that can beat that is 21. The only thing that can beat the Chiefs is about 1 or 2 teams. It's only about 1 or 2 hands that can beat the Chiefs.
Man.
Why would you risk it? Whenever, Marcellus, you know this better than I, you're a smart man who went to Columbia. Whenever you're making a business decision, you have to run what's called a cost-benefit analysis.
I love you.
You have to run a cost-benefit analysis. What is the cost of my decision, and what is the benefit of my decision? What is the cost of the Chiefs' decision? The cost is, again, ruining the culture. And if not the locker room, ruining the culture of the running back room. Just like I talked about AB and DK Metcalf, that is Antonio Brown. I talk about Le'Veon Bell and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Athletes look up to guys that play their position.
You ain't lying.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire probably studied Le'Veon Bell. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was probably like, man, I want to be like Le'Veon. So now if Le'Veon's in a running back room, you listening to the old vet. Hey, bruh, this and that, this and that. Is that what you want for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's currently number 2 in the NFL in rushing yards and number 6 in the NFL in receiving yards out of the backfield for running backs? Marcellus, it could do more harm than good. I just don't see how it's worth it.
Well, Le'Veon doesn't have a leg to stand on. And it's amazing that power dynamic when it switches. When you're the rookie, but you got more power than the vet that you looked up to. I've been in that situation before. And we've all been in that situation when you make it to the NFL, unless you come from riches and affluence. When all of a sudden you look at your parents and you're like, I got more money than both of y'all combined, plus what you made in your entire life in this one check. And the power dynamic changes. But you know what happens in that situation? If you're Helaire, you're like, you know what? What got me here is going to get me there. I'm going to listen to you and let you add, be a supplement to my meal. But I'm not going to let you take away anything that's on my plate. And if you're Le'Veon Bell, because you have run out of options, you got to be on your best behavior and your best production. I think this is an ideal situation because Le'Veon left Pittsburgh, sat out a year, and went to the highest bidder. Then you look at this situation now, he just wanted a job with a contender so he could dust off his reputation and find himself back in good graces.
That's fair. I consider this. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl with the 23rd best rushing offense. That's last year.
Yeah.
They used their first-round pick on a running back. Yeah. Therefore, they currently have the 6th best running attack this year. Okay. You went to and won the Super Bowl with the 23rd best rushing attack. You improve that rushing attack. You have the 6th best. How much more do you want? If you carrying a bunch of groceries into your house and you try to carry
don't do that back.
You try to carry that last one and you drop everything. Bust. I don't want the Chiefs to drop everything because they trying to carry that last grocery, which is Le'Veon Bell. Coming up, another superstar. That's Lamar Jackson. His passing numbers have people scratching their heads. I'll tell you why the reigning MVP peaked last year.
What?
That's next.
What?
Speak for yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's head to Baltimore, where the Ravens are 5-1, but there are still some question marks. Lamar Jackson's passing numbers, including touchdowns and yards, are down through the first 6 games compared to his MVP season a year ago. But Lamar doesn't seem to think it's a problem. Listen.
I don't think I slipped. It's certain situations in the game. You have to throw in certain windows with the guys putting their arms up, trying to slap the ball. It was a lot of tip passes, I would say, during our games, and I'll be trying to find angles. It's how the game's going. You know, my emotions probably flare up depending on that, but it's just a competitive edge. You know, I don't like to mess up, and I feel like our guys should feel the same way.
Acho, you concerned Lamar Jackson peaked last year?
I'm not concerned because he did.
You got shoulder again? Yeah, body language telling on yourself.
I'm not concerned. If I was lying, I'd be looking left, Marcel. I'd be talking to you like this. You look left when you're lying. No, I'm not concerned, bro, because he did peak last year. But we've seen this throughout the NFL. After you win an MVP, your numbers are going to be down. Should be surprising. Patrick Mahomes, 52 touchdowns MVP year, 28 the following season. Tom Brady, 32, 31. Matt Ryan, 38, his MVP year, 20 touchdowns the following season. And we'll talk about Cam Newton, 45 touchdowns of MVP year, 24 the following season. The question for me, Marcellus, is very simple. Which peak is this? Aaron Rodgers has peaked a couple times. Tom Brady peaked a couple times. I'm giving this to y'all in graph form. Many of y'all may not have gone to class or watching this show, so you probably should be studying. So I'm going to educate y'all a little quick.
Oh, wow.
Tom Brady's in red. Aaron Rodgers in green. Cam Newton in light purple. Lamar Jackson in yellow. Look at the numbers. The high numbers are how many total touchdowns they got. What that means is Tom Brady, he peaked. But he's peaked about 3 times. 50 touchdowns, 45 touchdowns, 36 touchdowns. Cam Newton, he peaked. 45 touchdowns, his MVP year. But Marcellus, he only peaked once. Aaron Rodgers, he peaked, but he's peaked twice. 45 touchdowns one year, 40 another year. And then Lamar Jackson last year with his 43. We can get rid of the graph. Y'all get the point. The point is Tom Brady peaked, but he played long enough, good enough, to have 3 peaks. Aaron Rodgers peaked. He peaked in 2010, but he played long enough, good enough to be on his 3rd peak. Cam Newton peaked. He peaked in 2015, but he hasn't played long enough, healthy enough to peak again. Lamar Jackson peaked last year. My question is only, will he play long enough, healthy enough to see another peak?
He has not peaked in any form, any fashion, any graph. He has not peaked. Oh, my God. The defense calls the accused Lamar Demetrius Jackson Jr. to the stand. Okay, sit down, big dog. Unanimous MVP, only 2 in history, and you're one of them. I'm talking to you right now. And I'm going to talk for Lamar Jackson because he said it there, but no one's going to believe him because he's defending himself. So I'll do the defending for him. Let's talk about the game of football. What's most important is wins and losses. We get that. But also there's some indicators that tell you how a team is doing in terms of those wins and losses. Turnovers, obviously, is a key indicator. But another one is the point differential. And I wonder who's leading the league with 75 in point differential this year. Oh, the Baltimore Ravens. No one wants to talk about that. That's not headline news. I understand that, Acho. Let me sum up who this guy is. And my coach warned me, and I think he should have known you to warn you. Never get bored with success. Because when you get bored with success, all of a sudden your expectations change, and what stimulates you, what excites you, changes as well. You have now been seduced by his greatness to a point where you're bored with his success. You have now become Bill Polian. Oh, stop. Let me stop. Leave Bill Polian alone. You look like him right now, the words coming out of your mouth. There is I don't know if it's a campaign, but there's certainly a narrative out there that is so displaced that Lamar Jackson can't throw the football, Lamar Jackson can't play the quarterback position, and Lamar Jackson has fallen off compared to last year. So I hate to do this to you, Acho, but I got to hit you with a full screen. And this might be my favorite full screen ever because it really condemns those who are running with this narrative. Never slip, never fall. This is Lamar Jackson this year compared to Lamar Jackson last year. Is his passer rating better or worse? Oh, better. Acho said his numbers are regressing. I don't think so. Passing touchdowns and interceptions. He's 1 touchdown off of last year, and last year was a unanimous MVP campaign. His touchdown percentage actually has increased. His rushing average, people saying, I'm not seeing the same highlight plays. Maybe you're not watching. Has increased. Rushing touchdowns the exact same year to year. And most importantly, most important stat, according to Acho and me, and the reason we play the game, he's winning more this year than he did last year. Please take that off because the defense rests. And Lamar Demetrius Jackson Jr., you may now take your seat.
Marcellus, here's the problem. Whenever you give me a full screen, and I don't see like blatant numbers like passing yards, rushing yards, and I have to see pass touchdown percentage. That's when I always know you up to something. Because you won't give me the numbers that you find in the standard analytics. You got to dig and search through advanced analytics.
5-1 is not standard? Wins and losses? That's not standard?
Lamar,
TD interceptions is not standard?
What we can agree on.
What football are you talking about?
What we can agree on is simple. Lamar Jackson's success is his biggest enemy. Like, Lamar Jackson is still better than everybody else.
Oh, now we on the same side.
No, but he did peak. Think about this.
He did not peak,
Let's talk track real quick before we got to get out of here. Let's talk track real quick. Usain Bolt, 9.57. That's the world record. Fastest man to have ever done it. That was his peak. It doesn't mean that he's still not better than a lot of other people.
I get it.
But that was his peak. FloJo, fastest woman to have ever run. She ran 10.46 in the 100 meters. On average, about 11 women, 10, 15 women walking the earth can run under 11 seconds, to give y'all context. Like, she ran 10.46. That was her peak. It's not to say she wasn't better than other people but that was her peak. I'm only saying that what we saw last year was Lamar Jackson's peak. I'm not saying he's bad. Not saying he's still not better than everybody else. Not saying the Ravens aren't still great. I'm just saying that season, MVP season, was his first peak.
Oh, my God. All I want to say is he's winning more, throwing fewer interceptions, and only 1 touchdown off a unanimous MVP pace. And for correction, the world record is 9.58, not 9.57. See? You don't know what you're talking about. All right, coming up, Ryan Fitzpatrick said his heart hurt when Tua, what's his last name? Was named the starter. We'll tell you if we feel sorry for him next. Speak for yourself. That's real, though, about PR.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's head down to Miami. Going to Miami, where it's officially Tua time. The rookie quarterback was named the starter for the next week's game against the Rams. Head coach Brian Flores said the move was, quote, the best thing for the team now. It also means Ryan Fitzpatrick goes to the bench after leading the Dolphins to a 3-3 record. We'll take a listen to a very disappointed Fitzpatrick.
I was shocked by it. You know, it definitely caught me off guard. And, you know, it was a hard thing for me to hear yesterday, just kind of digesting the news. My heart just hurt all day. Like it was heartbreaking for me. You know, it's a tough thing for me to hear and to now have to deal with, but, you know, I'm going to do my best with it.
Sorry, I need some Kleenex, man.
God damn.
I need some Kleenex.
Hey, I'm glad it's at the end of the show. We over here teared up.
So, Marcellus, do you feel bad for Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Hell no, I feel bad for this dude. Okay, let me say this, because I am torn because he is Ivy League.
Okay, you're right.
But I never feel bad for a 17-year veteran who now has got demoted. I'm not going to feel bad for you, dog. You've been eaten to the tune of $71,541,098 in a 17-year career. So I don't feel bad for a 17-year vet or a dude who's made over $70 million. But he is Ivy, and he was balling. And he was actually balling. And here's the thing I told you. I love Tua, and I love what the Dolphins' chances are, But I hate the timing of this. Why do it at this time? Why do it at this moment? Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick, you have to understand more than anybody in there, especially the rookie that you're mentoring, that you can't love football because football won't love you back. Deion Sanders talks about that. Don't trust football because football's not trustworthy. It's fickle. So why are you going out there and giving your love to something that's going to cheat on you? Football's going to cheat on you every single time because you know why? It can come in a million ways. For me, it was injury. Every time I get in shape, have a couple of muscles, a little six-pack, bam, you got to have back surgery, something like that. For you, it could come in a different form. For Fitzpatrick, it comes in the form of they draft a once-in-a-lifetime talent. They drafted not just a top prospect, but the career passing leader in NCAA history in terms of efficiency. So you knew this day was coming, and I understand that it's gripping, it's tearing to hand that baton off, but you got to compartmentalize. As all athletes do, you got to pass the baton.
Bro, I don't feel bad for Fitzpatrick at all.
Not one grain.
No. But let me preface with this. I'm jaded. Don't ask me. I was cut 5 times before I was 25 by the same organization. In the NFL, this stuff happens, and it happens to people who have garnered lesser success than Ryan Fitzpatrick and have probably deserved more. To your point, Ryan Fitzpatrick has made $71 million. He's won 58 games. He makes $1.25 million per win.
Nice.
Over the course of his career.
He won.
I'm glad he's stealing.
He won.
Steal.
No, that ain't stealing.
No. I hope everybody steals. I hope everybody steals. Like, I wish I would have stole.
I did.
You feel me? Like, I didn't get to. I never got the chance to steal. And I'm mad about it. Let me tell you why I don't feel bad.
Why?
It happens in the league, bro. My 4th year, it was Tuesday before we played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I get called into the head coach's office. Hey, Acho, man, we got to release you. But just think of this as a long Thanksgiving break. Go enjoy your time with your family. We'll bring you right back on Monday. Are you sure? Yeah, we'll bring you right back on Monday. Just think of it as a long Thanksgiving. I'll fly out to OC to spend Thanksgiving with Mark Sanchez and his family. I never hear from the team again. It happens. It happens. Was I mad about it? Sure. But that's the NFL, bro. You know who I feel sorry for? LaShawn McCoy. Born in or grew up in PA, played in PA in college, drafted to the Eagles, and then we trade him for a bag of chips. That's who I feel sorry for, but I don't feel sorry for Ryan Fitzpatrick, bro. It's the NFL.
I hear that, but I don't like when I hear you say this. I don't feel bad because it happens. Like, I could walk down the street and see an assault.
That's fair.
It happens. Look at the assault numbers, but I still feel bad somebody got assaulted.
Let me say this, but I feel like there are way more gruesome, worse stories than this.
There's some murders out there.
If we're going to feel bad for Ryan Fitzpatrick, no, let me end it like this.
Go ahead.
He has the best job in America. There is no better job in America than a backup quarterback. Because guess what? He's not getting a salary pay cut to be a backup, and now he doesn't even got to get hurt. Think about all the greatest jobs in America that you could have in America, and just know this. Ryan Fitzpatrick's job is better.
Than yours.
Coming up, Uncle Jimmy joins us, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming. I hope he roasts somebody again. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Before we go, Uncle Jimmy's in the house. Heard you got a lot on your mind today, so take it away, Unc.
Hey, Acho.
What's up, Unc?
Do me a favor, man.
Talk to me.
Bro, don't never wear that purple preacher suit no more, man.
I like this one, though.
Hey, man, you wear that suit, man, and you change, man. All you did today was drop scenarios and soliloquies, talking about what could, would, and might be. Came out here talking about if Carson Wentz throws 3 TDs, if Carson Wentz throws 300 yards. Well, if Frog had wings, he wouldn't get blisters all over his ass from hopping too much, would he? Hey, man, listen. Carson Wentz is the problem. He's the condiment. He's the mayonnaise. And that's the problem. Don't nobody like plain-ass mayonnaise no more. They like Miracle Whip. That's why they like Jalen Hurts. Speaking of condiments, did I hear you say that your favorite one was barbecue sauce?
Barbecue sauce, huh?
Yes, but I also heard you say that you ain't never had no barbecue sauce so good that you didn't have to have meat. Right?
Yeah, that's fact.
That's because you ain't never had no barbecue from Kansas City. Well, guess what? Now you never will. Since you don't want your kids singing around your crazy ass. You know what? Get the little badass kids away from me, huh? Now, I'll keep the little idiots away from me. Now.